Introduction. Hello, my name is Saru, and today I have been invited to speak as part of the Brisbane Multicultural Festival on the topic of one city, many cultures. I believe this is a great platform for me to present my views on this important topic, which might serve as some positive guidance to people who have been experiencing identity confusion in a culturally diverse society. This will help them to properly navigate themselves and feel included in an unfamiliar place that they call home. The Indian delicacy I ate at a friend's party started my intense and dramatic quest for identity and cultural heritage. It was like taking a 25-year railway journey trying to get back to the station where I got on the wrong train that changed my life completely. It is a successful journey home that helps me to understand how important identity and cultural heritage to a person. A journey for survival and inclusion that, in the end, makes me feel appreciative of my own identity and others. What should have been a beautiful afternoon with a glorious sunset was suddenly and quickly covered by thick clouds, and darkness soon descended. I'm a 5-year-old Indian boy who has lost his mother and woken up in an unknown world. My daily existence came from huge pieces of colored plastic scattered halfway up a hill, reeking of suffocating smells. On that hillside was a rickety cave that I soon realized would be my refuge for the night. I lay wearily under the cave, out of reach, listening to the rustle of the rain on my shabby shelter and enduring the uncomfortable hunger in my stomach. Without my mother's care, everything I ate was as hard to eat and as a bitter gourd. I was grateful that this dilapidated shelter had saved me, providing me with temporary safety and allowing me to drift off to sleep between storms. A thick morning fog enveloped the land, and I thought I would wake up in a paradise. But the gentle voice of my mother calling me home restored hope to my desperate heart and woke me from my slumber. The hunger that utterly dominated me drove me to the door of a restaurant. My limbs were as weak as inelastic rubber bands, and I staggered against a pillar. What was I supposed to do? Every time I was overwhelmed, my mother's voice calling me home surrounded me once again. And this power helped me, as if by magic, to find my way through life. Whenever I thought of my mother's sweat, I could imagine her sweating and carrying heavy stones, and how I wish I could have been by her side to help lighten her load and put a happy smile on her face. The memory of my mother drove me not to give up and to keep trying to survive so that one day I can see her face again. Without her motherly love, I would not survive. I still remember the shrill sound of the train whistle in the dead of night, a sound that echoed in my head, a sound that was telling me that I was still cut off from my family in India. It reminded me never to forget that I was an Indian. When I met a group of exchange students from India, we had mentioned where we were from. However, I couldn't answer exactly which part of Calcutta I was from, and despite having an Indian face, I had a very different view from them when it came to sport, namely supporting Australian cricket over the Indian team. In that moment, I felt embarrassed, and with the rising heat of my body, any moment, the non-stoppable sweats from my face would wet the corner of the kitchen bench top. The sound of the guests talking was like a rumbling drum that stirred my subconscious of where I was from. At the party, the jalebi fried in the frying pan smelled charred and inviting. The smell took me back to a time when the roads were covered in mud and water and pedestrians were in a hurry. Before I knew it, my dry eyes were brimming with tears. My thoughts turned to my brother, Gudu, whose gleaming eyes and smile on his tired face came back to me, always giving me warmth and affection. I could not imagine losing the strength of his eyes and the smile on his face while my brother cried out my name and lived a shameful life every day. Penetrating through my deepest conscience, was a feeling of guilt that my brother's tough life all originated from my stray from home. I took the blame for sleeping on the railway station bench and let my brother go. I felt so guilty for leaving my memory sleeping for those 25 years. I was the luckiest person in the world because I had such a lovely and understanding adoptive mother, Sue. Every time I found myself in a fog and lost my way, she was like a beacon of light to show me the way forwards. Her presence in my life since helped me to remain optimistic and resilient in all ups and downs of life. By the end of the story, my optimism and resilience have helped me to not only find my birth mother and complete, but also complete my lost identity, but also to appreciate the forgiveness and understanding of my girlfriend. The world was a hostile place when I closed my door to it and trapped myself in my own identity confusion. I could not accept other people's differences and kindness as well as my own. I was a prisoner in my own world. The world opened its arms to me again once I had learned to accept and appreciate my multicultural identity and also appreciate everyone's differences. It's a wonderful world when love, acceptance, and appreciation prevail. Nothing can compare to the joy of being in one's mother's loving arms again. The rare chance for one to find their biological mother after 25 years apart even made the dream nearly impossible for anyone. The blessing is even indescribable for me to be able to not only to find my biological mother, but also to be able to wholeheartedly treasure my adoptive parents as my own after 25 years looking up to them as adoptive parents. Identity and cultural heritage are everyone's inborn survival energy. Being able to bring the goodness from our own cultural heritage into a multicultural world and appreciating the goodness of the world has brought to our life can only make every one of us a happier and better person. That is the lesson I have learned from my journey. Thank you.